Yeah, what? No, you can walk into the story. Are you like it? No broadcasters association. Hey, you must keep on fighting.
Social distancing. Opinion leader.
Social distancing, but
So, honorable Dr. Rajan Gavaji Sebiraji, a friend of everyone else. We have thank you very much, members of the press, for coming at short notice. As you can see, we have the leadership of the MDCA Alliance, the honorables, the chief whips that have been that will be the subject of this conference. It will be addressed by the vice president of the party, We do have the organizer, the youth commander, the deputy organizer, our chief whip, secretary for social welfare, deputy chief whip, and the youth assembly secretary general, and the secretary general of the party, the MDCA Alliance, and we'll hand it over, and also fellow organizer for Harare province, the youth. I have not done it in particular order because of time, but due to the restrictions that we are facing as a nation and the need to respect COVID regulations, we will try to be as brief as possible. I will hand over to the Vice President to lead the press conference.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate. Once again, we thank you for agreeing and gracing us at such a short notice. So we don't take that for granted. As all of you are aware of, today the Speaker of Parliament, Advocate Jacob Mudenda, purporting to act in terms of a letter of recall purportedly written by an entity called the MDCT, recalled and terminated the membership of 4 of our esteemed members of Parliament, namely our Chair, Honorable Tabita Kumalo, our Secretary General, Honorable Charlton Wende, our esteemed Chief Whip, Honorable Prosper Mutseami, our esteemed Chief Whip in the Senate, Honorable Senator Lillian Timvios. As MDC Alliance, the movement, and of course as the entire family of MDC members, MDC Alliance members of Parliament, we stand with solidarity with our comrades, with the Secretary General, with the Chairperson, with Senator Timvios, with the Senator, with the Honorable Mutseami. An injury to one is an injury to all. Today's determination by the Speaker of the House of Assembly, and indeed the President of the Senate, is a travesty of justice, a travesty of legality. Everyone knows that we are the MDC Alliance, led by the one and only Advocate Nelson Chamisa. We participated in the election of the 30th of July 2018 as MDC Alliance. We contested with 23 other presidential candidates. We contested against 50 other political parties, including an entity called the MDCT, which actually, as a matter of fact, has 2 seats in the National Assembly. So that another political party, the MDCT, can purport to recall members of Parliament of the MDC Alliance clearly has no legal basis. It's null and void. But we know what has happened today. This is a ZANU-PF project. This is an agenda driven by Emerson Mnangagwa. This is an agenda designed to weaken and destroy the MDC Alliance. This is an agenda designed to destroy and weaken our leader, Advocate Nelson Chamisa. On behalf of our movement, the MDC Alliance, I want to make the following key 5 points. Number 1, we as the Movement for Democratic Change Alliance will remain a united entity under the able and undisputed leadership of Advocate President Nelson Chamisa. Number 2, we are aware that the basis of these unlawful shenanigans by Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa emanate from the events of the 30th of July 2018 when he lost the election to Advocate Nelson Chamisa. So this is a continuation of the battle and the struggle for legitimacy in Zimbabwe. This is a response and a predatory response by Mr. Mnangagwa to try and punish the people of Zimbabwe, to try and destroy the MDC, to try and continue the vindictive mentality he has arising out of his loss to Advocate Nelson Chamisa of the 30th of July 2018. So we will continue to make the point that Emmerson Mnangagwa, you did not win the election of the 30th of July 2018. You are illegitimate. But whatever shenanigans you do against the MDC Alliance and its leaders thereof will never bestow you the legitimacy you lack, which you were denied by the people of Zimbabwe on the 30th of July 2018. We also make the fourth point that we are greatly concerned with the capture and abuse of state institutions to pursue vindictive personal agendas. All of you will be aware that the judgment that has given rise to all this was handed down on the 30th of March 2020 in the middle of the COVID lockdown. The ruling today was called again. Parliament sat for 5 minutes in the middle of a COVID crisis to do one thing and one thing alone, to recall Honorable Charlton Wende, Prosper Mtseami, Tabitha Kumalo, and Senator Lillian Tivius. So we object to the emasculation and capture of state institutions. Number 4, we want to make the point to Mr. Mnangagwa that throughout history, authoritarian regimes have constantly strove to destroy people's projects and people's agendas. But that doesn't work. It didn't work against ZANU-PF when Ian Smith and his cohorts of colonialists tried to destroy the people's project. It certainly won't work against the MDC Alliance. There's nothing, there is no bomb, there is no tank that can destroy an idea whose hour has come. And certainly the idea of change, the idea of transformation is ready and ripe in this country. So Mr. Mnangagwa, you will not destroy us. Then I want to make the point, number 6, that we consider what has happened today as a declaration of war, as the end of normal politics as we know it. So we as a movement will defend ourselves. We as the MDC Alliance will defend ourselves as we are permitted to do peacefully and constitutionally in terms of Section 59 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. We have given peace a chance, we have given dialogue a chance, but at every given moment, at every given opportunity, the dictator and Emmerson Mnangagwa has constantly reminded us that they are not worthy the respect we have given them of inviting them to a dialogue. So we accept and note the declaration of the war. And I want to emphasize, we will defend our movement, we will defend our leader, Advocate Nelson Chamisa. What has happened today doesn't worry us. There is no struggle without scars. There is no struggle without bruises. So we will, like all decent comrades, dust ourselves up and look the beast in the eye and continue fighting until we achieve final victory. And final victory is inevitable. I thank you.
Thank you. We can take one, two questions.
Robert from Sly. Monzora is in Parliament under MDC Alliance. What's the way forward?
Well, that is the irony. Yes, our ESWA colleagues are still in Parliament, and with those, they are actually elected on the basis of the party list. So they are actually there gratuitously at the discretion of the MDC Alliance, which just goes to emphasize and underscore the political nature of the decision that has been taken by the Speaker of Parliament and the President of the Senate, which we reject completely. The people of Zimbabwe will express judgment on our estuarial colleagues. History is full of men and women that have been judged harshly by the people, from Moise Chombe to Morrison Nyati. So we will not talk about those characters at all.
Okay, my name is Manashi from 26 Richard. My first question to you, Honorable Biti. You have been talking of war for the past 6 months, declaring that Mnangagwa must go, but no action. You haven't taken any action up to now. And my second question is, today, Madam President of the Senate read that she nullifies the statement which was written by Honorable Wende of recalling Mr. Monzora. What's your take on that one?
Firstly, I think that we have been very careful and very restrained in the past 6 months. And the reason we have been doing that has been to give peace a chance, to give dialogue a chance. Last year in March, we launched a document called Reload. The whole idea and the whole essence of Reload was to give dialogue a chance. But as I have said before, Mr. Mnangagwa has stretched our patience. Mr. Mnangagwa has closed that door. So as we move forward, we are changing gears, fully accepting that Mr. Mnangagwa has closed the doors. So whatever happens from here in now, Mr. Mnangagwa must accept the consequences of shutting those doors. But whatever we'll do so peacefully and constitutionally, as is our democratic right, codified and protected by Section 59 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. As for the determination by the Senate, as I have said, these are ZANU-PF projects. We don't accept the same. We reject the same. Everyone in Zimbabwe knows that we are MDCA Alliance. No one can take that away from us. No one can detract that from away from us. No judgment, no ruling can take the fact that we are MDCA Alliance. So you cannot suddenly force Honorable Charlton Wende, Honorable Prosper Mtseyami, Honorable Senator Tim Vios, and Honorable Tabita Kumala to suddenly be members of the MDCT. They were not members of the MDCT in July of 2018. You can't infringe on their right to freedom of association in May of 2020 to force them to belong to a party called the MDCT. It can't happen legally, it can't happen morally, it can't happen spiritually. So we reject illegality in its entirety.
Okay. The last two questions.
Costa from Zimbabwe. Are you going to challenge this in court?
We are going to throw every arsenal we have in protecting our movement and protecting our leaders. I can't disclose tactics, but we will defend in the water, in the ocean, in the roads, in the air, in trees, underground. We will defend our party, we will defend our leader, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, we will defend our MPs, and we will defend our esteemed members of parliament.
Just a follow-up. From your observations, are they sitting MPs perhaps with more futures?
Absolutely not. Are the comrades that have been seduced by money? There's no one else. So that's why at the beginning I said we stand in solidarity with our comrades. Many of them are here anyway, the key people. And I need to say that it's not an accident that they have strategically targeted the esteemed members that they have targeted. Tabita Kumalo is our chairperson. Charlton Wende is our secretary general. Prosper Mtseyami is the leader of the house. The chief whip. Senator Tim Vios is the chief whip. So this is a deliberately calculated ZANU-PF move to emasculate the People's Project, the MDCA Alliance. But it can't work and it won't work.
Honorable, what happens if we continue seeing MPs being recalled from Parliament, and also the ones that have been recalled, will they continue carrying out their constitutional duties in their respective constituencies?
They were elected by the people. They were not elected by ZANU-PF or Emerson Mnangagwa. So they are people's MPs. On your first part of the question, I just want to say, without announcing anything, that the movement was there before MPs. It will be there after MPs. So there is nothing sacrosanct about being a member of Parliament. So you're not taking anything that we had or did not have, but we will protect our zones of autonomy, we will protect our spaces. But there is nothing fantastic about those positions. We didn't have them.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming.